Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Pompberry, and today we're gonna have a little bit of fun reviewing the Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette. And I say we're gonna have fun because it's not gonna be a traditional first impressions. I'm going to be turning myself into Judy from Animal Crossing, hence the half blue and pink wig. But not only that, this is also going to be an illusion makeup, and I'm taking inspiration from Sagara Wood's work. If you don't know her work, stop everything right now. Go check her out. Her work is absolutely amazing. It's some of the best illusion work I've seen. She basically transforms herself into a living doll with huge eyes and huge lips, and I'm going to be recreating that look and doing the huge eyes because Judy has gigantic purple eyes, which reminds me, I need to get some purple contacts in. And I've been wanting to do something based on Sagara's work for so long, and I thought this would be a great opportunity. And yes, once again, this is an Animal Crossing video because you know what? It just brings me joy. I've been having a lot of artist block lately, so what I've been doing to kind of get out of that funk is just do stuff that makes me happy, and Animal Crossing really makes me happy right now, so I've been incorporating that a lot into my makeup looks. I don't have Judy as a villager. I'm not really on a mission to get her either. I know a lot of people are, but I just thought she was really cute and she fit the color palette of this palette. So you've probably seen this palette by now. I'm kind of a little bit late to the game, but it's got some neutrals, it's got some purples, and then there is this kind of pastel green here, which actually really surprised me when I swatched it. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it for you guys so you can see, because at first it just looks like a pastel green, like whatever, but no, it's got a shift to it. It is so pretty. When I swatched this, when I got this palette, I suddenly got so excited. It made me way more excited for this palette than I was, honestly. Because when you look at this, it's like, it's pretty, but I don't know. I feel like they needed stronger purples in here, maybe like a slightly brighter, stronger purple. But this color here made me really excited to use this. So I'm gonna go and pop some purple contacts in and I'll get straight into it. But before I begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. So I've got my contacts in. These are in the style Super Pinky Violet. And if you're wondering about this wig, it wasn't originally like this. This is actually my lilac wig that you've seen a couple times here before on the channel. I used it for my mermaid, I used it for amethyst, and I just pinned it up and I painted it using water activated face paints. So you can totally temporarily color wigs that way. I just used a fluffy brush. I didn't get it too wet, but I did saturate it with the paint, and then I just painted it on, and it was that easy. Also, you might be wondering, where are my brows? I did a brow cover-up before I started this video. If you want to learn how to do that, I have a whole separate tutorial on how to do brow cover-ups that you can watch by clicking right up here. So Sagara has a video with Vogue where she shows her entire makeup process, which is really awesome. I highly suggest you watch it. It's here on YouTube. Just type in Sagara Wood and it'll be the first thing to pop up. And she maps out the features of the face with a kind of brown neutral shade. So I think I'm going to use the color Hacked for this. You guys know I don't normally map things out. I just go ahead and do them. But for this, since it's the first time I'm ever doing it, I do want to map it out because I don't want to risk messing this up. So I'm just going to take that on a little angled brush. And as you can see, whoops, I just dug into that. This palette comes with a brush, which I will be using later. And my first impression of this is that it reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty brushes. This is the Huda Beauty, this is the Naked one, and they're both clear. They've got a very similar font actually, where the logo is. Yeah, you can see they are very similar brushes. But anyway, it seems to have a really good pencil brush on one end and a nice fluffy brush on the other. It's nice and soft, so I'll definitely be using that later. And I'm gonna start by mapping out the bottom portion of the eye. I know that Sagara does the top first, but I think I'm gonna do the bottom first because that's where I'll probably have the most difficulty. Oh, this is really pigmented. So, okay, I know a lot of people have issues with the formulation of the Naked palettes. I've never had an issue with it. I've never thought that these were bad shadows. So if you have had a problem with the Naked palettes, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if you'll like this one or not. I'm coming from a place where the Naked one was my first palette. It was one of my first palettes, and I use it to this day in my professional kit. I think the formula is fine. There are better formulas out there, but it's not a bad formula by any means. So anyway, just getting that out of the way, and I'm going to, hold on, I actually want to pull up a reference picture to make sure I'm doing this right. So I think I kind of understand why Scara does the top first. I might do the top first. Let's see, I started here, but she plans out the top lid because we're creating a new fake lid, and Judy very much has a lid. She's got makeup on and everything. She's a cute little bear. And this lid line is gonna go all the way down the nose to make a tiny little button nose. So at least I'm gonna map that part of the lid. I don't think I'm necessarily gonna map out the whole thing right now. That'll at least help me figure out where to place this line here. And I know that Judy's eyes are very kind of like manga or anime style, like old school manga style, but I'm gonna do like a human version of Judy, but still maintaining her features, which are like the gigantic eyes and stuff. And it comes down pretty far down along the nose. And we're going to create a fake waterline, a fake tear duct, everything. And then this just kind of connects up here with the little line I've extended at the outer edge here. Okay, now that we've mapped this out, we're going to go in with white to fill in the white of the eyes. Now, Judy does not have whites in her eyes, but I'm going to add a little bit, just like a little line of white, because I think that'll just give it a slightly more human element to it, since I'm doing a human version of Judy. And I'm using the Suva Beauty Hydra Liner for this. It is a water-activated eyeliner. So I'm just going to roughly put down this white where I think it's going to go. I'm going to clean it up later, but this is roughly the area that's gonna be white. Now for the fake waterline, I'm going in with a liquid lipstick. I'm using the Dose of Colors Truffle liquid lipstick. I'm gonna take it on the back of my hand. I don't necessarily want to use the doe foot applicator. And I'm gonna take that on a brush and just fill in this tear duct right here and follow along those lines that we had mapped out earlier. So just creating a brand new waterline, which seems a little crazy, but it'll all make sense in the end. Okay, once that's done, we can start adding in color finally. And I think I'm going to start off with a color optimized as kind of like a little transition color. And I'm going to be doing this side pink and this side blue. So I will probably have to dip into another palette for this side, but I'm just going to start off above that new crease, and it'll probably behave a little weirdly on the brow cover up. That's normal, but this is a matte shade that's more purple than it is pink, but I thought it could be a start for this side. And then I'm taking this color under as well. And I'm gonna be cutting out this crease, so don't have to be too precise with the application of this eyeshadow. And this wig is getting in the way. And then I think I'm going to switch over to Warnie, and I'm going to use the pencil brush side of the brush that comes with it. And I'm going to pack that kind of where I mapped out the crease. And this is a shimmery shade with a shift to it. So it kind of shifts blue when you turn, but it is pink. And Judy, she goes from like pink to lilac to blue. So all these colors just go along really well. And like, that's why I don't mind seeing the purple peeking through the wig. I think it just adds to it. I think it's very Judy, just mixing the three colors together. And I'm going to use this to kind of define the shape of the crease a little bit more. So I want this to round out and end up at the end of the eye here. Now I'm going to take the fluffy side and use that same eyeshadow, but just blending it out a little bit more. I'm also going to bring it under the eye. So it seems like it isn't super pigmented. Like, I'm really packing on the color. And I guess I can see why some people don't like the formula of the Naked palette. It does take a longer time to build up colors, but it's all a matter of patience. Like, you can get there eventually. So I guess I do understand why people kind of have an issue with it. We're kind of spoiled nowadays where eyeshadow formulas have gotten really good and really pigmented in like one swipe. But I remember back in the day when the Naked palette was like the standard. And so I don't know, I'm kind of used to working with colors that build up slowly, so I don't mind it too much. But if you're used to eyeshadows that just go on completely pigmented in one go, I do understand why you would get a little frustrated with this. You definitely have to dip in a lot and build it up a lot. One thing that I will say kind of bummed me out is that there's only, I think, 3 mattes in this palette. And I prefer palettes that have more mattes than shimmers. Like, I wish at least one dark purple was a matte, but they're all shimmers. They all have different finishes. Some shades are a lot more shimmery. The other ones are like a satin shift. So I do appreciate the variety in finishes, but I personally prefer matte eyeshadows. And I want to deepen up this crease. And so I'm going to go in with the color Cyberpunk, which is this dark purple right beside Warning, and I'm gonna start packing that on with a little pencil brush. Now I don't want to make this side tend too purple, so I might reach into another palette just to get like a deep pink to help with deepening this area, but I want to use as much of this palette as possible because I am trying to see how it works. I think I'm going to dip into my Pat McGrath La Vie en Rose palette just because I never get to use it, and I'm going to dip into this pink right here, and I'm going to use that to sort of intensify this crease without making it lean too purple. We want to keep it pink on this side. Okay, I feel like this is doing a pretty good job at deepening and defining this crease area. And I realize this looks like a mask right about now. I'm blending it out pretty far up and out. I do want to diffuse this eyeshadow as much as possible. And then just to really define that edge of that crease, I'm going in with this dark plum here on a very thin and tiny pencil brush. I'm basically just going to sketch in, ooh, that's pigmented. I'm just going to sketch in like a line there. It's going to connect to the fake tear duct and really just define that crease. I'm blending it a tiny bit, but I still want it to be quite defined. So I'm basically just drawing the line first, and then I'll go back and blend it a little bit. You know what? I'm actually going to go in with a color Digital here from the palette. See how that works out. Oh, that seems to be a little bit darker, but I think it'll work for this. Oh, I don't know if this color is like almost like a brown. Oh yeah, I think it's like a brown. Don't know if that was the smartest choice, but I'll just use that right there to really define that. And then go back in with the other pinks to just kind of diffuse. And then just to help blend out this line a little bit more, I'm going in with the Dose of Color Snow Angel palette, and I'm gonna try dipping into this lighter pink first, and I'm just gonna go over that edge and just blend that. Okay, I think this color is really helping to blend this out. We just basically want to create dimension and pretend that there actually is a crease there. So you have to create a fake shadow right there. And you can see it looks like it's sunken in a little bit. And that's what we're trying to achieve. I also brought this slightly down, and ignore my hairline that you can see through the wig. Then for this side, I'm going to take the ColourPop Blue Moon palette, and I'm going to take the color Moonlight, and I'm going to use that as my transition shade. Same thing that I did on the other side, but now in blue. Now that that's done, I'm going to take the color Euphoric, and this is a purple, but it's got a bluish shift to it, so hopefully this will work out. Yeah, see, it's got a slight blue shift, and I'm going to use that to start deepening the crease area, defining the shape, and bringing it down as well. And as I said, the colors on Judy, they go from blue to purple to pink, so I don't mind having a little bit of purple in here. Doesn't necessarily have to be pure blue. Then I'm going to go in with the color Purple Dust to deepen that crease even more, and this looks like a very dark bluish purple, so I think that should work. I'm just building that up in the same way. I am getting a bit of fallout from this color. That is something that I notice in the Naked palettes, is that some colors do have quite a bit of fallout. Oh yeah, I got a ton on my shirt. Now I'm going to go back in with the Snow Angels palette, and I'm going to grab this bright blue, and I'm going to use that to blend the crease and the other blue together. You can see that kind of instantly creates that depth effect. Now I'm going to be cutting the crease with the ColourPop white concealer, and this is going to serve as the base for our little green eyeshadow that I showed you earlier. Ah, and this is getting on my wig. I'm gonna use a brush to actually be more precise. This is mixing into the foundation, so it's not gonna be pure white, but that's fine. And I don't have to put any on my lids because that's going to be painted black. The eyeliner is gonna be covering my whole lid pretty much. So I just realized I hadn't zoomed in at all, so now you're closer. Now you can hopefully see a little bit better. And I'm going to go in with the color Lucid. I'm going to try applying it with a brush and see what happens. And I'm just going to pat that down. I might have to go in with my fingers, but yeah, it seems like this color doesn't have a ton of color per se. It's more like the shift itself, but hopefully if I pack enough on, it'll give us like this bright minty color. Because you can see it when it shifts, but I want to be able to see it like at all times. So let me just try to go in with my finger. That works a little bit better. But it's still kind of just the shift, and I was hoping for more color. So I might add a mint and use this as a topper. Since that now took away the tackiness of the concealer, I'm just going to do a light coat of concealer over this. I think I'm going to go in with the Nomad Cosmetics Tokyo palette, and I'm going to use this color here, Kakigori. I'm going to pack it on with a little brush, and this will just give a base color underneath. And then when I add that shift, I think it'll give a really pretty effect. And this is seeming a little maybe too muted. So I'm gonna add a touch of Creep It Real from the Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette. And I first thought about going in directly with Creep It Real, but I think it might be a little too intense. Oh, like that. But it might actually not be that bad. Because her lids are pretty intense. I know I'm doing a lot of layering today, a lot of experimenting, but sometimes one specific color doesn't work and then you just gotta try with another and see how that goes. I do quite like how those two mix together. And same thing on the other eye. Let me try just this color by itself and see what happens. Yeah, that might be a little too dark, so I'm gonna mix both of them. And then now I can layer on Lucid to just give it a really cool shift on top. Now we're talking. I'm just gonna pack that on. I want this to be as visible as possible. I really want that sheen. Might even go in with my finger and apply it that way. Now you can definitely see it better. So this color is best used over top a different color. I'm sure you can add this to like a blue, or using this in an inner corner would be nice. That's a situation where it would probably work by itself, is in the inner corner. But if you want to use it like on the lid, I'd say use it as a topper. I'm really digging into it though. What if I used it wet? Let me see. I'm gonna grab some, quite a bit. I'm like, oh, really working it into my brush. And then I spritz it, and let's see what happens there. Not much difference, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know if this formula really works better wet. I don't think so, but you know, it's good to try. Okay, so I really dug into that color. I don't know if you can see, but I really dug in there to kind of get this sort of payoff. Now, Scara does the black outline first and then the iris and the rest of the eye last. I'm going to do it the other way around. So to fill in this part of the eye, I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Color Fix in the color Journey. And I know this is metallic, but I'm just going to use this as my base, and I'm going to fill in everything under my eye. If you haven't heard of the color fixes before, I highly recommend watching my full face of Danessa Myricks video. You can use these for literally anything that you want on your face. They are such a good product. Now I want to add some dimension to this, so I'm going to highlight the bottom and darken the top, and I'm going to highlight the bottom using Euphoric. And hopefully that'll give a nice kind of bluish shift as well. Oh no, it makes my skin look very wrinkly when I layer this on top of the color fix in this area, because I did apply it on quite thick. To get even more of a highlight, I might add a little bit of Lucid and see what happens. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to use purple dust to darken the top, but I'm going to be careful with the fallout because, again, I still have a lot of fallout on my face. My nose is Fallout City, and I'm just going to pack that close to my lash line. That just gives it a bit of a gradient, like Judy's eyes. Now I'm going to use the Rimmel Wonder Swipe 2-in-1 liner to create more dimension. And I'm going to trace the iris just all around. And then I'm going to do little flicks towards the center to hopefully add a little bit more detail. Then I'm going to take the NYX Vivid Brights Vivid Blossom Liquid Liner. This is a pale lilac, and I'm going to draw some more little lines to create little highlights. I'm going to go back with the white Suva Beauty Hydroliner and do some little highlight streaks. And I'm going to go back with a little bit of purple dust, the dark purple. Deepen this again, just to add a little bit more shadow here around the edges. And taking a little bit more lucid and just having that right there at the center of the bottom. There we go. Yeah, so I should have done this after the little lines, not before. So I have to apologize because I didn't realize my microphone was turned off for this, but for my lid, I'm going in with the Melt Cosmetics Black Gel Liner, and I'm just applying it all over the lid. Then I'm taking the Suva Beauty Hydroliner in the color Grease, it's the black one, and I'm going to extend that liner and trace around the new fake eye that I created. It's going to go all around the waterline and taper towards the tear duct. Then I'm also going to draw in the pupils, but they're going to be split because I'm going to draw a highlight in the center. And now I'm going to contour my nose. I'm using the NYX HD blush in the color Taupe, and I just want to make a really tiny button nose. So I'm going to make the bridge of my nose as tiny as possible, and then I'm going to contour around and under the nose. Then for highlighting, I'm taking the lightest color in the Naked palette, and I'm going to highlight the bridge of the nose and the very tip. But turns out this color was a little bit darker than I expected. It's kind of just like my skin tone, except shimmery. But it works as a highlight nonetheless. Then to start making my nose a little bit rosy, I'm taking the color Strawberry Milk from the Creepy Cute palette, and I'm applying that where I contoured. Then I'm taking the Hot Pink from the Snow Angels palette to start intensifying that a little bit, and then with the darkest pink to further deepen the contour. And be careful with this, it is very pigmented. Then I'm taking Tombstone from Creepy Cute and being very careful with it just to shade in the whites of the eyes a little bit and give them some dimension. Then I'm taking the white hydroliner again and drawing in highlights all along the waterline and tear duct. And these are just some random squiggles. Then there's a really intense highlight at the start of the tear duct going onto the waterline. I feel like this is one of Scarra's signature details in her looks. Now I'm going to draw the big highlight on the eyes, and it's in a cross shape. So I'm starting at the middle of the pupils where I left that space, and then creating points to each side horizontally and extending it downwards. Now this is something that Scarra does often in her looks, which is a huge coincidence because this is the reflection on Judy's eyes, so it kind of works out perfectly. And I just realized my microphone was off. I am so sorry. Judy also has two other highlights in her eyes, and one is right here and here. They're like these two little ovals. I was so focused on the eyes that I gotta admit I kind of forgot about the rest of the face, and I forgot that I wanted to whiten up the high points of the face to highlight them with a matte white. So I'm going in with Sugar Pills Taco because Judy does have a white face. So I just want to add that kind of under the eyes and use that as like my highlight color, and also I guess on the nose and in between the eyes, using that kind of to round out the cheeks as well, doing this kind of half moon shape. And then I'm also going to use that on my Cupid's bow and my chin. And I don't want it to look like I just have these like white random spots on my face. I'm really trying to blend it out so that it looks like just a matte highlight. Then I'm going to take the color Optimized, which is this matte lavender, and I'm going to use that to kind of contour with. I'm going to bring that down and around the cheeks, and I'm also going to contour my chin with this and bringing this color out and going back in with white to just change the shape up a little bit and redefine certain areas. I want to make the cheeks slightly rounder and larger. Now that that's done, I'm going to take Strawberry Milk from the Creepy Cute palette and just do cute little cheeks, just stamping that on, and I want it to be quite concentrated. I do realize the white makes it look a little bit clownish, so if you just want to go with like a paler skin tone, that's fine too. Gonna add some pink under the nose too, like that a lot better. And now I'm going back in with the black liquid liner, and I'm gonna be drawing lashes on the bottom lash line. Steady little flicks. She does have very defined lashes, so this totally goes with the character. I'm gonna thicken some to accentuate them. Okay, yeah, that really brings it together. Oh my god. This technique is so amazing. I don't know how Scara came up with this, but honestly, this is like freaking genius. Now it's time for the lips, and I'm going to try to map them out with the color Hacked, which is what I used to map out the eyes before. And I kind of don't know where I want to go with these lips. I thought about not doing an illusion style lip, but I think it would look weird if the eyes were like this and then the lips were just kind of like normal. So I am going to try to make them an illusion, and her mouth is like V-shaped, so I definitely want to emphasize that. So I'm just gonna start mapping this out in a way where it'll make my lips look more like a little V. And the lips, they don't really show it in the video how she does it. I know that she uses like darker and lighter color depending on the area to achieve that illusion, but it's not quite clear in the video, so I'm just kind of gonna wing it and hope that it works. I'm gonna go for like a purple lip, and I'm gonna start off with the L'Oreal Infallible paints in the color Lilac. This will be my kind of darker shade. Oh, it feels so weird applying lipstick not on your lips. Oh, this smells really good. I don't think I've ever used this before. I'm trying to create certain shadows, but the lips are very kind of diffused. They don't have very defined lines. And then for the highlight tone, I'm using the Milani Amore Satin Matte in the color Violet. And this is a super, super pale lilac. And hopefully these will give us a nice little illusion. But this is just the base. I still have to go in and shade and highlight even more. I feel very kind of Crystal Method right now, which is not a bad thing. I actually do want to do a Crystal Method transformation one day. I think that would be a lot of fun. Then I think I'm going to use some gray to do some more shading. This is the color Ashes by Black Moon, and this color is really unique. It's like a warm tone gray. I always want to emphasize that like little V shape, darkening the inside as well. I'm going to darken right here in the center of the bottom lip to add to that V shape. So I'm just kind of playing with the shadows and the highlights and seeing what works best to hide my natural lip shape. A lot of back and forth between the colors. I'm also going to take that color that I used to contour my nose and just shade under the bottom lip. Kind of create a little chin. I'm going to do that at the top as well. I'm going to take a little bit of a black eyeshadow and deepen that. Use that on the outer corners as well. Just accentuating all the shadows. She also outlines the lips in black, just the top and the bottom. And I tried to make the bottom lip as like V-shaped as possible, but I don't think I was that successful. And I think it has to do with my natural lip shape. I just tried to do it, but this was like the most that I could get it to look like a V. I guess it looks like a V when I smile. And then I'm also gonna do a few lines with the black, concentrating on the outer corner. These are imitating like the little ridges on the lips, and I'm going to do them in other colors as well, but since I've already got the black here. And then I'm going to do some more lines using the Suva Beauty Hydro Liner in the color Grape Soda. And this isn't quite the right tone of purple, but I just needed something that was liquid and slightly lighter than black. And I'm just adding more of these lines. Now it's really starting to look like a painting or a drawing. I mean, it was before, but the lips definitely help. And then now I'm going back in with a white, and I'm gonna do highlights. I'm gonna do a big one here, and then smaller ones that just kind of go along the ridges. This really makes the lips look plump and 3D. This is crazy. Feeling like the violet here on the sides of the face needs a little bit brightening up, so I'm just going to take Planchette from the Creepy Cute palette and just add that a little bit. I don't know, could be just nitpicking at this point. Also going to add it to the outer corners of the lips. That way everything ties together. Actually, to give the sides of the face a little bit more life, I'm adding strawberry milk mixed in with that violet, because I think that'll just give it a slightly warmer tone. It'll look a little bit cuter. Okay, I think what I wasn't liking was the bits of skin showing here, so I just went and covered it all in pink, and so now you don't really see my skin tone, and I think that actually works a little bit better because I do tend more yellow and this look is more cool toned, so I think the yellow kind of was clashing a little bit from my skin, so this just gives it a little more warmth. Now the last touch before I do lashes and then call it a day is I'm going to line my waterline, and I'm going to use both white and black for this. I'm going to use the NYX Jumbo pencils, and I'm going to use white just right here in the center where the sparkle is going, and then I'm going to use black around that to both sides of that white. That helps with the illusion a little bit more. I said that was the last detail, but I forgot I wanted to add glitter just a little bit, and these two are from Glam Goth Beauty. This one is the color Erotic and this one's the color Amoureux, and I'm just going to pop on a little bit of the BH Cosmetics Base Booster. Just going to apply that with a little flat brush just above here. I think I'm gonna go with Amoureux first. I'm just gonna grab that on my brush. It's pink with a slight blue shift, so it really matches the shadow that I've got under there. Oh, and I'm just gonna pat that on just all over that pink, and it's just gonna add an awesome sheen. And then on this side, I'm just gonna pat on Erotic. Just gives a nice little detail. Now for lashes, I'm going to start with 3 different pairs, and then I'm going to see if I need any extra. I'm going to use the Likely Makeup Blissful Baby on my lash line, and then the Sugar Pill Supreme Lashes on the outer corner, and I'm going to use the Likely Makeup Batwing Lashes on the bottom lash line. I decided I'm not going to add more lashes, so this is the finished look. This took me a long time, y'all. I started at 8, it's now 2 a.m. So yeah. Took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I did have a lot of fun with it. I haven't done an illusion style makeup in so long, I feel, and I've been wanting to recreate Sagara's style for so long. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed one more Animal Crossing inspired look. I think I'm going to keep doing more of these because a lot of you told me different villagers that you wanted to see, so I'm going to sprinkle them here and there. But I really hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to see me do this kind of style again. I definitely want to try it again in the future, but go a whole different direction with it, not necessarily do something that's this colorful and cutesy. So let me know what you thought down below, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all my patrons who support me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, it looks so weird when I smile.